Happy Thursday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout. People don't get it. So they don't see the
I
problems
can't
that are
believe
happening.
you. Oh, I can see it, but that's small. Good
That's why I have
work
my
for you.
glasses on.
Yeah.
Did you fix
I
the
just-
choppiness?
It looks like, I think the video's fixed.
All right.
Like, I feel like it's not that stop motion or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the update
So-
yesterday messed us up.
Well, no, it's still messed up.
Really?
Before we press play, I plugged it in and it wasn't working, so I had to move some things around. So let's hope this one works. This is the EST Hangout. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with here. As usual, Joaquin Gage, two guys in a goalie, former NHLer, formerly slinger of wieners.
I'm still a slinger of wieners.
Well, season's
Hey.
over, though. Season's over. Unless,
Wow.
are you doing Heritage Classic?
He's got things to
Have
do.
you been called in for that one?
Well, yeah, I have, but I
Have
want
you?
to. I want to watch the
We're
game.
accredited. I took care of that for us.
I know, but I don't know where I'm more valuable, watching the game or making hot dogs.
You do put a lot of love into those
I do.
dogs and
I do.
hamburgers. I had them.
I work the concession.
Yeah,
So,
I figured.
And Kiera Lyons, she is the NAIT Ooks women's basketball coach. You've played college basketball for a while, Canada West champion, and also an assistant coach of the Edmonton Stingers 2021 championship team. Is that when it was?
Yeah, yep.
How was that?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Because that was still COVID and stuff, but that wasn't the full bubble season like it was the year prior. That was
Yeah.
at the Hive. You guys played in front of a crowd.
Yes, it was still like there were lots of restrictions and things
Yeah.
you kind of had to jump through, but for the most part, it was not the bubble year. Yeah, it was lots of fun. I learned a lot that summer. It was good.
Awesome. What are you looking at?
Everyone's telling me to turn the flashlight off my phone. Even my dad.
I
Thanks,
mean, I
Will.
wanted to say something. I just
Why
didn't
didn't
want to
you
be
say
rude.
something?
I don't know. I wasn't
Your
sure.
flashlight was on?
Apparently, yeah.
Why don't
No,
you
It was giving me
no.
a
Now
headache.
I'm getting like bombarded with texts. Hernan, thank you, Nan. So good to hear from the Latino Heat this morning. I got it.
What were
yeah.
you using
There's
the
like
flashlight
10
for?
texts about. I accidentally turned it on. I'm sorry. Good morning. It's my morning too.
Do not give me that. Do not give me that. I'm the one here at 5 in the morning,
I know.
not you. So
I told you I
don't be
gave
giving
Kiera
me
the
that
tour,
one.
and I'm like, Iwanyk sleeps here sometimes. That's his office.
Yeah, it was very comfortable, the coach, the first night that I
Good.
slept there. I don't want to do it a lot, but
Yeah.
having that option is very, very nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay Milne.
Yes, Yvonne's Furniture, Jay Milne, the EST glue guy. Oilers game night tonight. Let's quickly start there. I guess with Gager, I'll go with you on this one especially. Who starts in that? Because apparently this is becoming a
I
thing.
know.
We talked about this post game the other night, but
Didn't we?
But why is it a thing?
I don't know why.
Because we made it a thing.
Should it be a thing?
No.
Or is this Jack Campbell?
No, Skinner.
Why?
It's part of the rotation. They have time in between. You want to get Skinner going. You need both of them. And I really think that Woodcraft, like we mentioned, we said that there's probably a plan of the first 8 games. Just looking at the schedule, that's how you would do things. And if you look back to last year, they wanted Jack Campbell to get going and gave him ample opportunities until they gave him that month off. When was the month off?
January. December.
It was
All of
December, right? So he
basically.
struggled up to that point, and kind of then they just decided to go with Skinner. So I think you'll see the same type of thing. If he doesn't, he's going to get ample opportunity to prove himself and have just a game like Campbell did in Nashville.
Sorry, I'm just opening up the
That's
chat
all right,
there for a
that's all
quick second. What do you think then?
I don't mind the idea of Skinner. I like the idea of playing Campbell, who has had the better showing thus far. Skinner's only had one start. One start. Was it great? No. He says he let in one bad goal. When he played in Vancouver, that was garbage time. Like, Gager, you and I were laughing while Trev was melting into his seat, losing his mind, because we knew, like, that game was gone. And they threw Skinner in there. It didn't get any better. Like, there was zero hope of them coming back that night. So I think that game, putting him in that scenario, like, irrelevant. And then the start, not great, but you got to play him again. So I don't mind him getting the start against Philly tonight, if that is the case. And then if Jack Campbell's going, Winnipeg always gives Edmonton fits. So I think Campbell going in that game, being the hot starter, is just fine. But it's a good problem. Sorry. I'm just going to wrap with that.
Are you too focused on basketball, or are you able to
No,
tune in still with the Oilers and all of that? Like,
I haven't been paying a lot of attention to the Oilers, but I do have just thinking about the giving guys chances and, having a plan and a rotation. Like, I think about that with my players too. It's like, at what point do you stop giving people chances and just start kind of going with who your people are? And as opposed to like giving them time and allowing them to build some confidence and get some minutes. So it's like an interesting kind of contrast. So like listening to you guys talk about it, it's like very applicable to like what I'm trying to do.
You're a coach. Well, go.
Well, I was gonna, like going into a game, like do you have like with your game plan? I'm assuming you have a way you want it to go out the whole basketball game, but how hard is it to then switch it up during the game and deviate from that based on what's happening, or do you like to stick with your game plan throughout the game?
I'm very much go with how it's flowing. I don't want to have like a strict plan and be like, I'm putting this person in at this time, because like all of a sudden a girl hits 2 threes and my plan is to sub her out. And it's like, well, why would I do that? Like, let's see how far she can go with this before I take her off. So I like having a structure of subs and like a game plan and matchups. And so if they send somebody in, it's like, okay, I need this person in so they can defend them. So I do have like things I follow. But for the most part, like if a girl's having a good game, I'm going to let her have a good game. I'm not going to take her out just because that was the plan, right? Like I want to see what she can do and let them build confidence in those moments too. You need rhythm.
Coach Kiera is looking at her goalies, and one guy gave you a good start. Another guy, 4 goals on 16 shots. You have your plan. What are you doing tonight then if you're in Jay Woodcroft's shoes?
I agree. I think you put Skinner in. I think you have to give them both a chance and see how it goes. And it's so early as well. Like you said, you need both. So like you have to do it early, get them in a groove, get them in a rhythm. And so I agree.
How do you, so just for hypothetically, an example, one of your good players may be struggling. Does it depend on the player and their attitude of how you approach to get them back? Is there some tough love? Is there coddling, or just getting in their face and saying, hey, let's go get going?
That's very like personnel based for sure. And that's like my job to get to know how girls respond to different types of coaching. Like some want tough love, some need tough love. Other ones need a little bit of coddling or like some just quick attention, right? So it's me figuring out how to do that. In terms of like, one of my best players having a little bit of a struggle, like as the season progresses, the leash becomes more and more because the games become more important. And so you have to allow them to figure it out because you need them to be playing well when the games mean the most. But early on in the season, I think it's a good opportunity if they're struggling to kind of set a precedent that like, if you're not doing what I'm asking you to do, like somebody else is going to come in and do it and like build that kind of culture as well. But as the games get important, you gotta ride your horses a bit.
I needed lots of coddling and love, but I never got much until later on in my career.
You get it here too, though.
I do get some here.
Yeah.
So that's
How much does Jay have to look at the Heritage Classic and who his starters for that game? How much does he have to go next? Not this and the one after, I think it is, right? Because it's coming up really soon.
Next Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to pick who your kind of goalie is. Do you have to not have that kind of figured out because it's the Heritage Classic? It's the big game. We've talked about maybe it's Skinner because it's the local boy in Commonwealth.
Yeah.
It's that spectacle. You don't want a situation where maybe that, Roberto Luongo, he doesn't get the game. He wants out. You got that delicate because they're unique. Not every goalie gets to play in a Heritage Classic. How much does Jay actually have to look at that Sunday and plan, okay, this is what we have to do because I'm going to have that guy because I need him for Heritage Classic. Not for the 2 points, but mentally I need to give him this game. Or
when is the Heritage Classic?
So it's not this Sunday, next Sunday, so 10 days or whatever.
Okay.
There's what, 3 games in between after that?
Well, tonight,
Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I think, or Sunday, whatever it is.
tonight, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you treat it the same way he approached preseason. I think whoever's going great up to that point gets that game. That's how I would approach it. I don't know. I understand the local boy, and it would be great because Stuart Skinner's probably got to buy at least 250 tickets to that game and have everyone there, and it'd be nice to play. But I think it's best up or best dressed first up. I don't know what that saying is. Whoever's going well, I think that's kind of a reward, a carrot to give your player. That's how I would approach it. I think that's how he's structured the first part of the season and go, hey, guys, yeah, I know you both want to play in that game. It's going to be something that you're going to remember forever. And but there's a little bit of a competition. I don't think you should be anointed it just because you're from the hometown. Is
there going to be a buzz for this Heritage Classic? Like, 'cause I'm not feeling anything. We're a week and a half away.
I didn't even know when it was.
See? Is next week, are we actually going to get excited? I thought we would.
I think so.
Do you?
Yeah, you know what? They're rolling in the ice plant. Like there's pictures
The
from
weather's
Commonwealth.
going to be like, it's not going to
Yeah.
be minus. Well,
Yeah. That's
It-
Knock
I don't
on
wanna-
wood,
I
Kiera.
can't,
Yeah.
thank you.
There we go. We got you.
you know, but like it's not looking like it's going to be super terrible. So like that would be exciting as a fan.
I think it's going to be like a late build up to this thing. You know, people are like, the game's this
does feel
weekend. It's
soon,
nice
though.
out. You
Like,
know
it
what?
just-
I'll buy a ticket.
Spit and Chicklets guys are going to be there too.
Are they?
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
like
I
it.
saw something today.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
coming
yeah.
in for that.
But
Oh.
it is not a national game in the U.S. It's one here, obviously, and there's only 4 games that day.
Because it's Heritage Classic. It's not a big deal down south.
I know
right?
it's become
Like,
a regionalized event.
Well, yeah, but it's also not the Stadium Series or the Winter Classic, which is the U.S. outdoor games.
I know.
Like the Heritage Classic is the bone that the NHL is throwing to Canada so Canadians can still get the outdoor games, but it's not their marketing ploy
that's
for them.
true.
That's the Winter Classic and the Stadium Series so that they can go with the Stadium Series. There's actually talk of maybe the NHL looking at Mexico City for a game and maybe just out like trying to see could they do an outdoor game in Mexico
yeah,
City,
that would,
which
that would
okay.
work really
yeah,
well.
I know.
That would be ridiculous. No, I think
But
the,
if you could sell that, if it logistically could work, that would be
That would be-
something else.
yeah.
Hey, they played an outdoor game in Vegas with Gretzky.
On the Caesars Palace parking lot.
Yeah.
Really?
And I like all kinds of locusts got on the ice. Like they're smashing them with their sticks and stuff.
On how soft would the ice be?
It was horrible.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know West Ed's not exactly, but like that's an indoor and it's mush. So like, how would the ice be in an outdoor game cities like that?
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible when you go to a warm climate and it's just slush. It's just everything's slower.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a detriment to back in the day because the ice at Northlands, I'll call it Northlands.
I love that. I
It was
respect that
so
very much.
good. Even because I remember my first year pro, we had some fast guys on our team, like Intranuvo, Todd Marchand. He was up at the big club at that point, but we had a practice, and we were so used to crappy ice in the minors in Sydney and Nova Scotia, and we were just taxi squadding it. It was about 6 of us out there, and whoever, I think it was Primo or something, our coach, he started bag skating us because he got so mad we couldn't make a pass. But because we were in the minors for so long on such crappy ice, we had to lead guys so far and put so much zip on the puck just to get it there,
Wow.
right? So all of a sudden we passed a puck and it just went zing. And so for the first 5 minutes, no one made a pass. No one scored on me, so I felt good because I didn't get any shots. But then we had to start skating because that ice was so good. And you could see it had an effect on other teams. Like they were great. Medano, the Oiler killer, was even faster in Edmonton.
I heard stories about like the Gretzky era where they would go to other barns and they would turn the temperature up so that the ice would melt a little bit because they were so used to like the ice at Northlands and it was so good and so fast. So it was like, I don't know if that's true or not, but
There was a lot of greasy
bad.
things that would happen at arenas back in the day, from what I've been told. I mean, you were playing back then, but I've been told stories like that. Like the rink crew would do stuff to mess with the Oilers for the sake of doing it, slowing them down. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was true.
I remember Maple Leaf Gardens, the red dressing room was so hot in there. Like it was disgustingly hot. And you had to like step out for a bit because it was so bad. But yeah, there was probably little things like that
Yeah.
that people did. Now it's just it's a luxury. Like half the rooms are just gorgeous, amazing.
well, and not even just the Oilers, but I know there's like psychological things that places will do to like guest dressing rooms, like the colors they paint it, the shape and stuff to like try and mess with your psyche before you
Yeah.
come out
Greg
and play.
Popovich is then the Spurs have done some crazy things. Out the Celtics with the Lakers back in the day. There's always I see when people say that the Oilers have like the nicest visitors dressing room. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate
It
that
is
they
quite
make things
nice.
nice for the opposition. Make it as uncomfortable as possible.
I mean, if
can't.
you were like an absolute dynasty and you had the nicest visitors dressing room, that's hilarious. Like that's really good. But if you're not, and like it's a little bit different.
I would want people to come to Edmonton and hate that they're coming here. Not because
They
it's the
do.
city. I know that part. I'm saying like
They
playing
do.
here in Edmonton that they hate that like every part of getting ready for the game, playing that game is so uncomfortable, and it gets them off. And then the Oilers on the other side have their fire pit and their lounges and all of that and all these
The
amenities.
20-foot marble.
I would not have
fireplace,
tried to go for the nicest visitor dressing room in hockey.
I
No
respect
chance.
that. Now, couple things. The PA would just throw a fit and make
bare
them fix
minimum,
it.
baby.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
And then the other thing is the reverse psychology of it all. It's like visiting teams come here and players see that the locker room and the facilities are so good. Maybe they consider come playing here.
See, but that's the thing. Have it be crappy and know that they'll know that the Oilers have this great thing and they'll want to play there in the home room, not the away room. If it's all so nice, why do they need the home spot? It's always already so nice.
Well, it's not as nice. And I also appreciate the fact that Kiera brought up messing with the other team's locker room, because that reminded me of a story Rob Klinkhammer told me last summer when he came back from Russia. One city, they didn't trust the opposition team, the home team, so much so that they would have the equipment manager stay and sleep in the locker room, have it locked up. He honestly said they were worried that the home team would hire a priestess and go into the locker room and like cast the spell on the team. No joke, and curse the team. So the equipment manager would not go with them to the hotel. He would live in the locker room.
So he just had to wait for the priestess to show up and curse them, and he's just in the dressing room.
No, he
waiting
would
for it.
shoo her away. But like, so Kiera brings that up, and I know we're joking about it, but like, this is a thing. Some cultures, and in Russia, when he was in the KHL, they had their equipment guys sleep on whatever, the massage table or a couch in the middle of the room, so no curse would be put on their team when they went and played that game.
Brent in the Nasty Chat has said that Iowa State football visitor locker room is all pink. Worth Googling because the story is hilarious. But there you go. Just like the visitors all sitting in a pink room, like that's just going to mess with them.
It's well, and it's like it's a psychology thing. It has to do with like your mental preparation, like the color pink. Like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but there's like studies on it. So a lot of places have
Are
pink.
the plans at NAIT for the visitors room?
There's
Are
lots
you
of
working
plans
on
at
it for the
NAIT.
visitors room? Are you working
Lots
on
of
messing
plans
with
at
things
NAIT.
there?
That
Have you
one's-
learned where
that one's not
the
that-
shower hot and cold is?
Yeah, that one's not as high on the priority list. Lots of plans, but that's on there.
What was I'm drawing a blank, the coach for the Avalanche when they won cups?
Mark Crawford?
No, the next one. French guy.
Oh,
Shoot,
jeez.
if you look that up, I'm trying to think of his name.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Anyway,
He coached the Flames.
yeah.
Hartley.
Hartley.
Yeah,
Bob
Bob
Hartley. Awful human being. He.
Really?
Oh gosh.
Slide that in there.
Well, we played against him. He was coaching Hershey Bears. So we're playing in an old stadium as it is, right next to the Hershey factory. So the whole city smells like chocolate.
I've
which
heard
is,
this.
which is funny.
amazing.
But actually, I went to a tour, and Mankind was in there. Mick
Foley.
No way.
Yeah. He and wearing exact like sweats and a plaid shirt. Anyway, that's another story for another time. But anyway, they had an amazing power play, and Hartley. We found out this later. He got his trainer to go up into the air ducts, like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, dropped down into our room and measured our sticks.
No.
We didn't find this out till late, like later, because the trainers go to the Blade Master kind of convention and learn all the new techniques. And the trainer for the Hershey Bears told our trainer, goes, yeah, Hartley had me go up into the rafters, come down and measure our sticks, because we took 3 penalties. They dove everywhere. It was terrible. But once we'd take a penalty, they'd measure someone's stick, and they knew exactly what to do, because he can do like width, length, all the stuff, and hit us with 3 illegal stick penalties. He called 5 illegal stick penalties on us that final in the Calder final. So, and they went on the 5-on-3. They were up like 4-0 after the first. Like, it was just ridiculous, and we were young and mad and couldn't believe he was kept calling just such a brutal penalty. Like, it's within the rules, but it was like cheating. And after that, everyone was in the room, like looking at our sticks. What's illegal? What can we do? And it just completely mind screwed us, because now we were like going into the third period. Do I have my legal stick? The time of the game? Like, it was awful. But yeah, that's what anything to win, I guess.
Did players carry two types of sticks, legal and illegal?
That at that point, yeah,
Yeah.
you always had your stick that was legal for the third period. If it was a goal and the guys that were out there, like a lot of times, guys would grab the legal stick with, especially with some Euros with the big hooks on there, right? And goalies, it's really weird because almost every goalie stick was illegal because the height of the blade. It would just get to a point where you couldn't get that stick measuring thing. I haven't even seen those anymore. Do you even see those at the
I
rink?
can't
have
recall
seen
seeing
them.
a penalty even for that, and I don't know how long.
They're usually in the corner of equipment managers' rooms. I don't know if they even use them anymore, to be honest.
I think my first win in the I saw someone posted I had my first win in the NHL and I had 4 PIMs that game and one was for the illegal stick.
Wow.
So what happens? I have a couple questions.
Go.
What makes a stick illegal? Like, are we talking curve or like what?
Curve, length, height. There's a lot.
Length of the blade?
Length of the blade, length of the guy like Chara. They had to change the rule book because you were only allowed your stick to be a certain height, and so now it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 8 feet tall, right? So,
Yeah.
there was a bunch of different things you could look at for what was legal, what wasn't. But you had to tell the ref what that was. They couldn't just go and go,
Measure
this
that
is
stick.
good, this is good, this is good.
so they got all
So
that
that's
info
why we
beforehand.
were like, how is he getting this right every single time? Like, because the ref comes back, it's too fat here, or the curves. They knew exactly what to measure for each guy because they would wait till he came on the ice and they go, oh, that guy. Right, and they knew it exactly because they'd measured it all.
So he can just bring that up to the ref at any point and just be like, I think that's illegal and this is why.
We're gonna call an illegal stick on that guy. Yeah.
What if you just scored a goal and then they call would they call it back? Or you just get a penalty?
No, you just get a penalty. Yeah.
Okay.
The tool that is used, I don't know if many people have seen it. It looks so bizarre too.
yeah.
It's like
haven't
got
seen
a
it in so
curve and it
long.
has like all these weird indents in it. It used to have a slider at one point.
Yeah, the slider to go because it had to touch, right? Or
Yeah.
once there was
Had
a
to-
gap,
yeah.
there was
It's
How
a
legal
funny
was your
looking
stick?
thing.
They were all illegal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had to
Like how illegal? Like, did you really try pushing the boundaries?
Oh, I had
or
a
were you-
beaver tail on that thing. That's how they came, man. They all came like that, and so
So then, how could they be illegal if they came like that?
They made them
made-
manufactured from the factory.
But why wouldn't they just like change? Like, if the manufacturer should know the regs.
Because he'd be like, you do what I say. This
Yeah.
is what my stick is. And they're like, okay, you get a penalty. It's your own fault.
It's like my grade 10 biology teacher. Not cheating, not trying. That's what he always used to say before a test.
We won't get into secrets for what you're planning this year. We'll keep that low key. By the way, I just learned something from the nasty chat today.
What?
It's his birthday.
What? Happy birthday, Joaquin.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks,
Oh,
man.
We get to spend it with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Should I go
This is a
further?
big one, too.
What? Yeah.
It is a big one, right?
I guess.
Oh, come on. It's a big 5-0.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Happy
sir.
birthday,
Thanks, man.
Gager.
Thanks,
What a
yeah,
nasty
yeah.
chat coming through in the
Wow.
clutch.
You're like
Someone's-
the first birthday we get to really celebrate here
Yeah.
at EST.
Yeah, first for everything. Yeah, I'm getting into the third period here of life, I guess. Well, maybe I'm still in the dressing room, about to go out. Coach is yelling at me to mix in a save. Probably about that.
Okay.
You look great for 50.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So happy birthday.
Thanks,
And,
buddy.
Yeah.
October 19th. Never forget that one now.
No?
I'll never forget that one now.
Yeah, as a kid, it was. I always envied kids closer to Christmas with their birthdays because they got
Did
the
you?
double presents. To combat that, I said I got candy and presents because it was close to Halloween.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to have a birthday right next to Christmas because, yeah, you get a lot at once.
Yeah.
But that's it. And you got to wait a year for presents.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're right in that June, July range, it gets broken up. You have all
Yeah.
the time to play with your Christmas gifts, and then you get your birthday gifts.
That's probably better. And having it in the summer is good going into the school year. That's good.
When's your birthday, Maddie?
I'm January.
Kira?
August.
August.
That's not a bad one.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a
The
good
only thing
one.
is, like, lots of people are away, like when you're a kid.
Well, yeah, it'd be hard.
Yeah. But
Right.
it's like, it's pretty great. I'm a big fan of my birthday.
Summer birthdays, that's good too. You can do more.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
Yeah.
just nice
Yeah, it's
and-
nice
Winter's
out.
again?
You wake up, the sun's been up
September.
for a while.
Oh, yeah.
The
You're the
sun's
first
going to be
one.
up for so long.
That's
like,
sweet.
No, I wasn't
That's
working
good.
that day.
That's really good.
Yeah. But I guess you're the first while we've been a thing,
Yeah.
but he's the first while we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's more special, I think.
Okay.
Much more special. We're celebrating it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks for letting me be a part of this. I feel very
That's
special.
why we got you here.
It was just for Gager's 50th. This is
Yeah.
actually really
Yeah.
just a big surprise.
Surprise.
We don't have.
Dusty's picking
I
up a
still-
cake right now.
I still have a panino if you want one of those. That could be
I'm
a birthday.
good.
There's a
present.
lot of beer in there, Gager.
Watch me
I also-
slobber out of here.
I got some gummy bears for you too,
Oh,
if you'd
good,
like.
good.
Ooh.
There we go.
Different kinds of
It's
gummy bears.
Thursday.
They're nice orange ones and yellow ones, and they're very delicious.
Eric
from what
hasn't
I've
eaten
heard.
all of those.
I have them hidden.
Oh, you hid them from him.
Not from him, just in general. We had a couple kids come through this place one
Oh,
day.
yeah,
And
that's
I looked
right.
at them and I was like, well, that's probably not good.
It's not a good idea.
So then I put them away, and they're just behind my TV if anyone is interested. Just make it a nice public thing. Everyone knows that gummy bears are available.
Okay. Delicious.
Delicious.
Let's get into the nasty chat here. A lot of birthday wishes coming in for you, Gager. Back to Kiera's answer that we had a little bit earlier in terms of goaltending and all that. Kiera's answer is exactly why I like to hang out different and smart perspectives on the same topic. Someone else saying Wested ice with new plant is fabulous.
Oh, good.
So they have new
Yeah,
ice there.
it's been a
apparently,
hot minute
Wested.
since I've skated there, but I remember
guess.
what it was
Yeah.
like.
I wonder if because they renovated that completely. I think it used to be like didn't it wasn't like center ice elevated almost or like it came
By the
up or
Zamboni, it was
something?
like,
Yeah.
it was bad.
It's a neat rink. Like you used to practice there because there'd be the practice and then the signing.
We'd
session,
always
right?
get banged. It would be the practice at West Ed was always a night where we got free reign to go out. It was everyone was pretty banged up that game. They really needed the nets at that point. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of guys
a lot
got
of
the
missed
net.
shots. But I haven't skated there in like 5 or 6 years.
Really?
And I think they renovated it since.
JMO used to play rec hockey there. He'd go on like his weeknights or something and play
Text us, JMO.
the 8 o'clock. But he obviously hasn't played in a few years out there. It does it looks like it's a fun time out there. I hope it's better ice.
Yeah.
We keep having these brick tournaments like become bigger deals. Like they're massive deals. They broadcast every game. And you'd hope that the kids at least have proper ice for that.
I think they do a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. I mean, I did the MAC-T Classic and stuff, and
You did not get thrown out of that game, did you?
no, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Keith Gretzky and Laddie Schmid.
What's the MAC-T Classic?
It's a few weeks after the brick. It's a year younger.
Yeah.
And who was it? It was Mac T, coached a team, Kelly Buckberger, Dave Cooper, Tyrell
Spitzer?
was
Spitzy, yeah.
was coaching with Dave. Who else? Belzy. I had Sean McTavish and Ladislav Schmid and myself. Laddie got kicked out the one game for yelling at the ref, and then refused to leave the bench, which was hilarious. But I haven't. There's always one player in that tournament. It's just lights out, right?
Yeah.
So Mac T got the one guy the first year who played on the brick tournament this last year
Okay.
too. So really good. I forget his name. The next kid was a kid from Calgary, a little defenseman that would look like a little Bobby Orr out there. So I'm hoping that next year I get the dynamite kid because he's the difference maker.
Ooh.
But it's great because they're all that age. I could coach that age. Like sometimes it drives me nuts. I don't know how you do it. But the little kids they're just so enthusiastic, and like the stuff that comes out of their mouth is just hilarious. Like because we're coaching, we're trying to make it real as possible, but
Yeah.
with in jest too, right? So we're hugging these kids. It's crazy, but the one kid, I go, oh, we need a goal. Who's got a goal? And one of the kids is like pulling on my jacket. He goes, Coach, I got it. Just put me out there. Like you get these, and how do you not? Okay, get out there. It's
he
a
get it?
wonderful. No, he didn't.
Nah.
I think he got a breakaway and then missed. So I was like, and then he comes off and he's all upset, and you're like, it's okay, we'll get him. So it's one of the best weekends of the year for me.
That's cool. How does Coach Kiera handle situations where do your girls come up to you and be like, "Get me out there," or are they pretty
No.
respectful?
No. Like, there are certain, players or instances where they'll come off and I'll be like, you let me know when you're ready, because it's like you need a break. You're
Yeah.
winded, and so you just need to take a seat, catch your breath, and then when you're ready to come back. And that's the only time, and they'll just look and be like, I'm ready.
That's great.
But
Very
other than
polite.
that, it's like I come find you.
Yeah.
Have you been kicked out of games for mouthing
No.
refs off or anything
I
like that?
haven't.
No?
I need
Even as a player?
No.
What?
The only technical I ever got my whole life was in ladies after I graduated.
Really?
Well, that shit's frustrating. So that's the only one I ever got. I only ever, I might be incorrect, but like in my memory, my dad will correct me if I'm wrong. I think I only fouled out of one game in like the 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
And so I was pretty good at like playing with fouls and also like just not talking back to anybody. Like my dad was my coach for a very long time, so I learned quickly how to behave myself. But I want to use my tech as a coach. I need to. And I feel like there were a couple times I was trying and they just like wouldn't give it to me. But I'm sure I'm not going to get kicked out. I say that now, but my plan is not to get kicked out, but I definitely want to use a tech to my advantage, right? Like
What's the advantage of it?
Momentum, trust. Something happens where I don't feel like my girls are being protected and I stand up for them. That's something that I can show like a way that I can let them know that I'm supporting them. Our energy is low and I'm going to bat for them and take a technical and hopefully build some momentum. Like same idea as like in hockey, I would think, not to the same extent, but like a fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Similar sort of parallels that way. It's just like an energy giver if you use it correctly.
I have one request if you get kicked out of a game this year. I want full Bobby night. Take the chair, whip it across the floor, and walk off. That's all I ask for.
The warm-ups.
If you happen to get kicked out, just give me that.
Yeah.
Ooks ladies
Throw the
basketball coach
basketball.
goes berserk. Headline.
Let's get viral.
Yeah.
Ladies,
That'd be good.
all of it.
Coach at NAIT gets fired.
No.
Oh, we'll have your back. We'll defend you. We'll fight
This is
against
an
the school in the
atrocity.
firing.
Yeah.
No,
I'll
we've
be
got
back
your back.
in here talking about it on Monday.
Absolutely.
Door will be open right away.
Yeah.
We'll be playing that clip. I just want that full Bobby night. Just throw it across. Did you have a coach ever throw anything on this as you've played? Because that doesn't happen, like especially nowadays in hockey. It doesn't. And occasionally, like Jim Playfair. What did he when he was?
Yeah, he was.
What did he do in the AHL or whatever?
Threw
it was?
I think he threw his tie on the ice at
He
one
was-
point.
Yeah,
He was-
That's right. He ripped it off and threw that.
He was ripping his shirt open too, which was kind of weird. I love seeing the guys on the bench just like laughing and not going,
Trying
"Oh my
not to
gosh,
laugh,
just
too.
what's our coach doing?" I didn't have a real. Lauren Mulliken was he was fiery. I don't think he ever threw anything on the ice. Pete Mahovlich, my coach my first year, he was a funny guy. Like I'd never seen a guy drink 6 O'Douls quicker than him ever. Like
Really?
well, he didn't drink, but he liked beer, so we'd have a 6-pack of O'Douls at the front of the
just
bus.
crush 'em?
Yeah, because I'd come sometimes you'd come on the bus. Oh, I got to go back out or whatever. And by the time I came back in, they were all gone.
Wow.
So he was funny. He would yell. And big man like a Mahovlich, right? His brother Frank or whatever, and he would yell at if the other coach would yell at our players he would start yelling at the coach. I remember he almost fought the Montreal Canadiens coach at one point because he was yelling at our players a lot. And that was getting a little heated. I was like, oh, this could, because we came off at the same place and we were so close together. I go,
Yeah.
this will be kind of interesting. But no one that ever really threw anything out there. He used to bring his dog to practice and put him in the penalty box during practice. And then we would always let the dog out. So he never figured it out that we were letting the dog out during practice. And he would be going, God, she's so smart. She gets out of I don't know how she gets out of that penalty box every time. So whenever we needed a break, we would let Sophie out. Sophie was a big, huge standard poodle that would run around and chase pucks for the next 5 minutes. Oh, it was a different game, boys. It was a different game.
Yeah, like that story. All of a sudden, at Oilers practice, there's a dog on the ice.
They've got a dog. They follow
On the ice mid-practice, though?
No, not mid-practice. A couple of texts to get to, 780-218-9999 if you want to chime in. Collingwood Rob, who says he's a retired official, says it's called a stick gauge made by CCM. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Another one says, I thought they waived the illegal stick rule. Did they?
They might have.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I can't recall the last time
I think I
that
remember
has
hearing
even
that.
come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surveyor Brett says, didn't they relax the illegal stick rules a while back? That's why you never see it anymore. Where's referee Surveyor Brett? Oh, that's from Rip City Step. Yeah,
Well,
where's
Surveyor Brett, though, said that someone threw a garbage can on the ice last season in one of his rec league games.
Jeez.
I'm not surprised.
So-
It gets pretty heated. Hey, speaking of like weird quirks of sporting facilities, you played university basketball too. Did you have any visiting court disadvantages? Do you remember anything like that, or was everybody pretty kosher and fair?
I think for the like just some crappy visiting rooms and stuff like that, but like nothing malicious. Or if it was, I was not paying attention. So I don't think so. For the most part, it's like, and like, if I'm gonna be honest, it's a girls' university basketball. Like the standards aren't exactly through the roof with that kind of stuff either, right? Like,
But that's where stuff like that you get away with.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, that's
True.
why I ask. Because like maybe there was some sketchy coaches. You're like, I know they're doing something. I just haven't figured out what yet.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Like I've definitely heard of other teams having stuff stolen out of their locker rooms and like that kind of thing. But no, I never really experienced anything like that.
What about like the floor? Like I remember the old stories of the old Boston Garden where the depending on where you were on the court, you got a different bounce off the floor. Is that like when you go to different places, are you kind of aware that it's not the same or?
You like for the most part it's pretty standard,
Yeah.
but like some places have old floors or old gyms and so there's dead spots or there's just areas where it bounces off kind of funny, but that's just part of the game for the most part. Like
okay.
when you grow up, you play on different types of surfaces too. Like if you're playing in club tournaments, you'll play on like that floor that just gets like put down in arenas, or you're playing at high schools, and so it's never exactly the same. Or a different basketball too. Like that can change how the
Right.
ball comes back up off the floor, like ridges in it, stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, like you try not to pay attention to things like that because like what are you supposed to do about it anyways?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There was a great video last year. I think it was, maybe it's 2 seasons ago, of Steph Curry bouncing a basketball
yeah.
Right under the rim.
practice. And then he noticed it was bouncing weird.
Really?
And then he stops and he just kept bouncing. You could see it wasn't bouncing as high as the other spots.
And you can hear it.
Oh, you
Oh.
did.
It's
And
a
it was
hollow
just
sound.
like,
Yeah.
it's just seeing how you guys could figure that out just like that. It's like, oh, that's really cool.
And I thought it was funny because I saw that video and I was like, why is everybody so impressed by that? Like that's a pretty,
Oh, no.
it's just something that's super normal, right? Like you bounce it and it just sounds different. It doesn't come up the same, and so you just like find dead spots. So it's like, yeah, it's a pretty common. Like it's not like he's a genius figuring that out, but
To us, he is.
that's wild.
Which
I mean,
means
he is
you're then a
brilliant.
genius as well. You're on
he
that
is a
side.
genius in other ways, but just like with that thing, I was just like, that's pretty common, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything like that in hockey? Like, do the players, like, it's the boards?
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be?
I
Just
mean,
playing
you
off
would-
the boards and seeing how they bounce
You
off.
would
Because we all
ring
know
it.
Claire Drake is awful.
It's
like
weird.
for the visitors, and there's an advantage, but
Love that
for
already.
the most part.
You would ring it, right? In pregame skate, like get out there and ring a few around and see if it pops out anywhere, especially if there's a Zamboni door in that corner. Some boards get lively. I think when we were watching the first
In
Canucks
Vancouver.
game in Vancouver, the boards, like they were shooting it off the net and it was coming right
Yeah.
back out really quick.
New
So-
boards in Van this
yeah,
year.
so things like that you would kind of look at and stuff. But yeah,
One of the biggest things, like a disadvantage, I guess, for visitors is like depth behind the rim or the net. So if you have like a bunch of space and not just a wall, so say like at Saville Center at U of A, you have, and does McEwen have that too? No, just Saville. If you have seats and a ton of space behind the hoop that you're shooting at, your depth perception changes because there's not just a wall. So like having a shoot that morning and getting used to that, like because it does change kind of how you look at the rim. So
Right.
things like that in a gym definitely make changes to your shooting percentage.
Well,
and
I've
stuff.
heard that's been an issue with like the Final Four and stuff. That they're going to stadiums,
Yeah.
and you've got like it's just open, like or like all those seats and all those people, and it's just not what you're used to shooting against. You come up, play the couple biggest games of your career, maybe,
Yeah.
and it's a completely different environment than you've ever played in.
Yeah.
What about the Hive now, the hangar? Because the one side, like, because it's kind of staggered where they had the court. I heard that they're moving it up for next season. And you've got the seats and then the wall. And then the other side, there's like all this big opening in the back, where they have like the shoe shine and the tables and all that. Would that mess with players?
Yeah. Same idea.
Yeah.
I think most of the like pro stadiums like that have that kind of openness behind, maybe in the CBL. I might be wrong about that. But yeah, it's just like if you're not looking at just a wall and there's like people and space, and it does change it. It's not something that's impossible to adjust to. And if you
Right.
just get you come in early and shoot, and then you get your warm up, like it definitely helps, but you'll find that like, your shooting percentage drops.
I don't know if they still do it. I hope they still do. But Arizona State University, their student section behind, they had like this curtain, and I forgot what it was called. And they'd have like the curtain would open up, and they'd be like a couple of guys sitting in a bathtub while they're trying to shoot free throws. Or
That one guy giving birth.
that's yes. And they would they would do the weirdest things just to mess with someone coming up for a free throw.
They'd have like his legs spread like a blanket over him, and they're like a doctor.
No.
So you're trying to shoot a free throw, and that's all happening right behind you because student section's right there.
great.
Yeah.
That's what sports is supposed to be.
What
So
a
funny.
beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if there's anything you can do for the team, you do it for the team.
Yeah.
Actually, like the close, like we're not at that level. I was at a Golden Bears volleyball game last year, and I think it was the football team. They came to support the team, and they dressed up and they had drums, and they stood right behind the other team as they were serving. And a couple of guys, they went to go complain to the ump, and the ump's just like, I can't do anything. They're not on the surface.
Yeah.
And they were just messing with them, and it was great.
I've played in playoff games where we had to take timeouts on the floor because there were teams behind our bench and they would be so loud that we couldn't hear our coach. So we'd have to move our timeouts like near the free throw line so you could actually hear it. Augustana was like fantastic. So I played 2 years at Augustana. Because all the other teams, like everyone lives on campus for the most part. So if you weren't playing or you were around, they would get dressed up and they'd have all these different instruments. They'd be running flags up and down the side of the floor. Like it was really good.
Oh wow.
That's the atmospheres you need in sports.
Yeah.
Well, and like the Panda's hosting nationals this year, the like basketball team. So they've got nationals happening in the spring, or I guess late winter, spring. And I'm excited to see what the students do for that because like the men hosted Final Four, or they hosted nationals a couple years ago too, and like they showed out. It was really good. So I'm excited to see what happens this year.
College sports, it's amazing what they do. I remember with Team Canada we went to play UND one year.
Oh yeah.
And I'll never forget, this guy was banging on the glass, and I wasn't playing there. I was sitting on the bench, and the guy's banging on the glass, and you try to ignore everyone and then I finally look over. He goes, "Hey, I'm a rich Canadian," and I'm thinking to myself, "Gosh, this is a weird thing to say to me." And then he held up an American $1 bill, which I thought was pretty funny. Like the humor of these guys.
The whole joke was to get you to look.
Get me to look and see. I'm
mock
a
the
rich,
currency.
mock our
Oh, boy.
currency. But
Can't knock the hustle.
yeah, they were great, man. They didn't shut up the whole game. It was amazing.
We got a text that came in that says, Gager, any good stories about your goalie partner Fitzy, Jason Fitzsimmons, while you were in Cape Breton? That's from JM.
Yeah, but not here. No, Fitzy.
They're not even here for the hangouts.
Wow.
Fitzy's great. Fitzy, Braden Holtby was his guy. Basically, he's a scout with the Capitals now. Fitzy was a great goalie. Yeah, the one time I remember the one time we were together. He was playing, and then I got sent to the minors, and I caught fire in the minors and played for like 2.5 weeks straight, and he was upset with me. But we were friends. He goes, "I wish you wouldn't play so well. This is ridiculous." But no, great guy. Really fun to hang out with, and he's been quite successful as a scout and with the Capitals.
Nice.
So basketball, ACAC, you had head coach, women's basketball team. How hard is it to recruit people, or difficult is it as ACAC when there's 2 U Sport teams in the city, or is it not hard? Is it pretty?
No, it's hard.
Is it? Yeah.
I mean, I've only had one year of actual recruiting. So the first year I got the job, I had kind of missed the recruiting window because I had gotten it like sort of late. So it was my first season last year of actually recruiting.
Okay. Before we then get to the my question, then how was it coaching a team that weren't your recruits?
They worked so hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great answer. That is a great answer.
How easy does it come into
Yeah.
to a bunch of players that you didn't build this team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were fantastic. They really were. It was a bit of a tough situation for all of us, and I think we made the best of a tough one. But like they won nationals the year before I got there, and then graduated most of the team. Like I don't remember exactly how many, but like for the most part, it was like the entire team graduated or moved on. And then the girls that I did have left were only in their second year. So I had nobody past their second year in my first year. And most of them played less than, 10, 15 minutes, if not at all. So they're stepping into a role where they're now playing 35 minutes, and didn't play a substantial role the year before. So we were the youngest and also the smallest team in the ACAC, and I think that we overperformed actually at the end of the year. But it was tough. It was tough, and it's hard to. They didn't pick me either. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's just I didn't recruit them. Like they didn't decide to come play for me. Like they chose NAIT for other reasons before I got there. So it's, if they would have known what it was going to be like, maybe they wouldn't have come. Maybe they still would have. I don't know. So it's a tough situation. But in comparison to now, so I've got 11 new players this year, 9 of which are straight out of high school. So we are quite babyish, but I'm excited to build. It's a totally different feeling because I picked them, they picked me. The returners, same thing. They'd been through it with me for a year. They understood what they were getting into. So it's a lot less of me cultivating that in September in comparison to how I had to do that last year. Because I've got second years who are and third years, but second year with me that understand what I'm trying to do and understand the culture. And so it's, not just the message coming from me, it's coming from them. So it's a totally different feeling, but different problems, different stressors, but the kids that I've picked and that have decided to come back definitely feel more like my team, I guess.
Cool.
And then competing with U Sport, what's the challenge there?
So NAIT has a lot of recruiting not problems, but challenges. One, because it's a polytechnic school, a lot of girls aren't really, it's mostly a trades or healthcare, right? So if you're not interested in that, then there's not really programs that offer for that. And a lot of girls that play elite basketball are quite academic. So if they're not 100% sure what they want to do, NAIT doesn't really offer just general sciences or general arts to kind of figure out what you want. And most programs are 2 years as well. So trying to keep girls around for more than that is tough. And then in terms of the U Sport, it's just, it doesn't really change how I approach things. I'm still going to go after all the girls that I want because you just never know what they're interested in or what their grades are like. But it does pose other challenges, and I have to go elsewhere outside of Edmonton because there's so many U Sport schools around. And there's other colleges in Edmonton too. There's Concordia and Kings and us and U of A and MacEwan, and then Augustana's not that far away. And so there are, a lot of other places pulling from the same small group of girls. So I've started to go to 3A and 2A and look for athletes out there as well and see kind of what I can find outside of Edmonton. But yeah, it's a challenging thing for sure.
How is it to recruit during a season? How easy is it to find time to start looking to next season while you're still focused on this season with the players and getting practice time in and getting games in?
It's tough. I mean, we have morning practices Mondays, Tuesdays, which allows my evenings to be free to go watch high school games, which is helpful. But yeah, it's hard because I want to be focused on this year and I want to be, doing the best that we can in this season without looking too far forward into the future. But there are, certain girls that I'm if I don't recruit you, I've already been recruiting girls from grade 10 and 11, right? Mm-hmm. And if you don't do that, you're not going to get a chance because they're going to be highly touted. So it's a good balance of I want these recruits to know that I'm really interested, but I also want my team to know that I'm fully here right now at the same time. As much as I'm preparing for next year, you are my priority in this moment. So it's, I don't know, I'm learning. I'm a beginner for sure.
How do you hear about a phenomenal high school basketball player? Is it word of mouth or?
It's a small world.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, right. And for the most part, if you've been coaching club or you have friends in the basketball world, which it's such a small world.
Yeah.
You just know you've either seen them or you've heard about it pretty quickly because if you go to a club tournament, everybody's talking about it.
Right.
So yeah, it happens quick.
What are the big? Is there kind of a big tournament, or is it just provincials that are kind of big recruiting place that you would go watch, or?
Yeah, I'll go to league games in the city, and then provincials is a big one. I went to 3A provincials, 4A provincials, and some of the girls that I have on my team now I got from there. And lots of club tournaments in the spring. So normally though, like last year when I did the club tournament thing, that's more recruiting for 2 years down the road, because for the most part, I want to have my recruits signed and ready to go for the next year, like early spring, so that we can spend the summer working. I'd rather have, I got a couple late recruits this year, just happenstance, which was great. But for the most part, like I want my team built so that our off training, we can like one, get to know each other, two, start working on the things that we need to work on individually. And if I get recruits too late, then it's like we're starting from ground zero in September, and I'd rather not do that.
Kiera, are you casting a wide net? And how concerned are you about some of these potential recruits going to a U of A or to McEwen or to another school, not here in Edmonton?
Right now, like my net was really large last year. Right now, I want the core of my team to stay together. And so there's some pieces that we need. And so my net has definitely gotten smaller. But, the core of my team is what I want to move forward with and then, add here and there. And, in terms of like trying to keep them, it's like, if you don't want to come here, that's fine. Right? Like I want girls that want to be at NAIT, that are proud to come and play for me and play with the girls that are on my squad. And so if you're not really bought in, then like that's fine. Like you go where it feels right for you and where you're excited to be. Because at the end of the day, if you sign at NAIT, like you should be pumped. Like where it's not a second option or a backup plan. Like I want it to be a place where you're really bought in and excited and like grateful to have the opportunity. So that's kind of where I'm at. If you don't want to come, that's cool. I'll find somebody that does.
Do you remember people coming out to watch you scout? Like, did you know that someone was there to watch you or anything like that? Or
No.
how did that all play out for you?
No, that was because I wasn't well known really, because I went to Notre Dame in Saskatchewan, and then came back and I walked on to the Kamloops Blazers. I just phoned them for a tryout, and I did well, and no one knew where I was. Like usually they have an idea of certain kids but because I had played in Saskatchewan for Notre Dame, and I played bantam, but we played in the AA midget league because there was no bantam AAA league in Saskatchewan at that point. So maybe that was part of it as well. But not until then did I actually realize that there was actual people watching games. Like I played in the BC Junior, and you'd see the Western League scouts and some all of a sudden college scouts, and they'd all sit up in the one corner with their trench coats on and clipboards, which was
They were
always
so easy to pick up.
oh my
the
gosh,
scouts,
yeah,
like-
they'd always sit in the same spot. But I remember my first year in the Western League, I was 18, and I didn't fully grasp that there were actual NHL people at games now. Like it was mind blowing that people were watching me play and stuff. And all of a sudden my name was like in a hockey news. It was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, you could actually, if you do well enough, you could maybe even make the NHL.
And you did.
Yes.
Do you think it's better to know that they're there, or like is it, being a little bit oblivious to who's actually watching? Do you think that's better for most kids' performance, or do you think it's the opposite?
I was oblivious. Some guys liked it because they'd get up for it. Some guys, it drove them crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go, oh my gosh, they're here. I got to do something, and would try to
Force things.
yeah, and it just wouldn't work, right? So I think after a period of time, most guys got used to it. But you knew in certain places, definitely there would be lots of scouts. Like there wouldn't be too many in Portland, just because we're further away. They would probably go to
Wait till you guys went on the road.
yeah, like when we do our Eastern swings, there would be scouts all over the place because that was their time to watch. Especially guys that played on the West Coast, they would come through, so they'd go see Tri-Cities, Portland, Seattle at that point. Although the cities and where we played were a lot nicer.
I was just gonna say, if I was a WHL scout, I would want the Portland, Seattle, Tri-City, Spokane loop.
Yeah, but how many WHL teams have the money
Yeah,
to send
yeah,
their
that's
how
a
many
good
people are
one.
going to send their
I'd find a
WHL
way.
scouts and be like,
No.
yeah, go live over there as opposed to
Yeah.
live in Alberta and just have them come roll through town for you.
And you,
Good logic.
It's a good barometer for a young player because I mean you're getting off the bus and playing a game. You've been on it for 24 hours almost. I remember we would go straight from Portland to Brandon, and it seemed like it was like 26 hours, and it seemed like we played that night, right? So you really find out about the character of a player having to go through those bus trips and perform and withstand that barrage in the first period and things like that. So I think that's probably mostly why they saw us out there. There were some. I'm not saying there wasn't any scouts in Portland and stuff. There definitely was because I'm sure they had a blast. But
I love Portland.
Oh, it's
covering the
great.
Oil Kings when the Oilers were done. Great town.
Awesome town. I mean,
Weird, but awesome.
it's weird now. Like when I was there, the downtown was like you could eat off the sidewalks. I see pictures now. I'm like,
yeah.
it's just a mess. But no, great city to play in. Awesome. They were quite knowledgeable. We averaged, I think, like we played in the old Glass Palace where
Memorial,
the Memorial, yeah,
Coliseum.
yeah. The Trailblazers played there and stuff, and it was funny seeing all the NBA guys. The showers were funny because it was built for NBA players, so it made us feel like little kids because it was way up in the thing. But no, we averaged, I think, well, it was about 12,000 that could fit in there. I think the one year we averaged like 92.
Wow.
right?
Really?
So yeah,
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good for.
They all just wanted a piece of Gager.
Well, we were a tough team. We had some killers, so everyone got their fix.
They love the Winterhawks there. They really do.
Winterhawks are huge. Man.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like this. They don't care that it's not NHL. They understand it's the guys that are on the cusp, and they just love it.
Yeah.
It looks like a
what
good
I like.
sports market. They support
Yeah.
the Trailblazers.
The Timbers.
Well, I was going to say
Went to
the
a Timbers
Timbers
game.
MLS is huge.
Yeah.
I think it's Oregon State Beavers. Is that
Yeah.
area? I think
The
that's
Nike
them.
factory's there.
It's
Is it there?
It's in Beaverton.
Yeah, it's just outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's big with Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Ducks.
Yeah.
So we're the Ducks.
Ducks are in Eugene. Just
That's what I
south.
thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great campus. That's fun.
Well, when you got the Phil
Speaking-
Knight money coming in,
Yeah.
that's better have some nice stuff there.
Speaking of Oregon Ducks, I saw Jason Moss last night. He's headed back to Montreal today. He stuck around for a bit.
They bye
former-
week this week?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
former quarterback for Oregon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
just-
Yeah,
that's
Jason
the
Moss had the greatest Wonderlic test ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Like
that.
it's huge. I don't think his record's been broken.
Really?
Yep.
He is a good dude. He's a
And
good man.
also a hothead.
he's also very passionate.
JMO told me a story once of him, like Ricky Ray, Moss, and someone else. I think it was the quarterbacks all came back one time with the Elks, Eskimos at the time, early 2000s. They were all golfing. And Ricky Ray and I can't remember who the other quarterback was, were just laughing because Moss got upset and he threw his golf bag into the water. Like all clubs, all that, just threw him into the water.
Really?
He was
Yeah,
just
that sounds like
so
it.
frustrated. So he grabbed all that stuff, threw it in the water. And I guess they were goading him on too to make it worse. And yeah, he just got so mad he just threw everything into the water. So
He might join us on the Hangout when he's back in town.
Oh, really?
At the end of whenever the Alouette season
we're bringing in
comes.
JMO in for that one too.
Have to, but he's all in. Great guy. He's a
I
great guy.
booed Jason Moss as a kid.
You booed him? You can tell him that to us.
Because it was 2002. Ricky Ray had come in replace of Jason Moss, who was hurt. Ricky
Yeah.
Ray started winning football games, and then Moss came back healthy.
Yeah.
And they started Moss in that game. Well, I wanted Ricky. So the first half happened, and they weren't good. So we booed Jason Moss off the field. Then Ricky Ray started the second half, and the rest was history.
It was.
I'm sorry, Jason, but for the best part of the team and the franchise, you needed to be booed and be pulled.
Jason
Sorry,
Moss.
are you a booer? Like, do you boo, like do you continue to boo players?
You've talked to him for at least an hour now. Do you sense that he boos? Because
Well, I'm
I
just
feel
trying-
like
I don't
it's
wanna be
pretty obvious.
judgmental, that's why
Be
I asked the
judgmental.
question.
We're,
So
we're
long,
encouraging
like-
it.
I haven't gone to I don't boo at home, obviously.
But, like,
I'm
I
not
just mean
weird
it
enough.
in
So like that, but I know I don't go to games to be able to enjoy them. Like every Oiler game I've been at for the last 14
Yeah,
years,
you're
or whatever.
sticking them
I'm
in.
in the
You're
press
working,
box.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
booing in the press box.
I do.
Yeah, but you're
You could get away
alumni.
with. You could go. I played. I have
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elks games too. Did I boo this year? I'll boo refs like bad calls.
That's
Maybe
fair.
not full boo.
You know who gets into it? Eric.
I haven't been around it in the last like 10 years enough as a fan to know.
Right. So
I don't know.
we know.
I get
then.
angry.
You don't know, so we know.
We know.
I swear at
Yes.
my TV. I do that. Like I get.
That's different.
I call up, but that's where I feel like I'm not far off from the booing.
I
Kira,
can't boo.
he has like 14 teams that he considers himself a part of the team, and he uses the
Not
term
14.
we.
Okay.
Okay, sorry,
That's-
21.
That's yeah.
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 I have this
It's called
team
being
and
a
this
fan.
team and this
Manchester
team and that
United,
conference. Oh, okay, here we go.
Baltimore Ravens, New York Yankees, Duke Blue Devils basketball, LA Lakers, Miami Hurricanes football, Washington State Cougars football.
Jesus.
Right?
Am I missing anything else? Elks
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
back
you're
there.
missing a lot.
Well, Italy, Ukraine soccer. I'm not happy with Italy. right
Canada
now.
soccer.
Canada soccer. Canada basketball. Because
Edmonton
it's just a great
Riverhawks.
time. I see, but no,
I'm teasing.
like that. It's not. That's more of like for fun.
I know.
It's not the same passion. I've like that deep passion. Yeah, about 10. Yeah, we play hard, Tommy. We go hard. We look for titles.
Yeah.
We're looking for championships.
I love just say to him, you were great last night.
Yes,
saw
I
you
was.
in that game. Yeah.
And you want to know sometimes I don't have good games. And sometimes the players don't have good games.
Sometimes I boo them.
And sometimes we cheer and we have good laughs together. It's called being a fan, Tom.
I know. I understand. Jason Moss, by the way, yes, he says he'll come on the Hangout, and you can catch Bozone live on Wild TV starting November 16th.
Wow, nice.
With yours truly.
Kiera Lyons, NAIT Ooks, women's basketball coach, Joaquin Gage, former NHLer, Bozone live host, Tom Gazzola, Matt Iwanyk, booer at sports games.
Yes.
Here on the EST Hangout. I got to ask you, Kiera, you've gotten to do something that doesn't happen a lot. We're seeing a change in sports. It's growing, but being a female on a men's team, you were an assistant coach with the Stingers. I think the Giants are interviewing a female for their manager job in baseball, which is like the first interview happening. Becky Hammond, we know her, San Antonio Spurs for so long with the Aces and stuff. But how was it being a female on a men's team, like as an assistant coach? How was it coaching those players, and how was it being, in a way, a trailblazer in that sense?
I don't know if trailblazer is the right term.
Well, I don't think. How many females have coached men's in Canada?
Yeah.
Good
In
point.
history, like that's.
That's called the Trailblazer.
Thank you.
It was great. Like the players were awesome. Like it's tough because I was only there for one summer too, right? So like figuring out my role in terms of like actual coaching was probably the most difficult part for me because I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, if I'm going to be completely honest. And it wasn't a position that I like went looking for. It was brought to me, and so it was kind of like this spur of the moment thing that I agreed to do. And to be able to tell these guys that are my age that have played the same level and higher than I have, tell them how to play basketball was a tough thing for me to do. So it was definitely more of a learning experience for me. But it was, the players were awesome. The coaching staff was great. Like I really enjoyed my time. And I think like the biggest thing that I learned is just the amount of things that I have to think about before I show up to the facility that my male counterparts don't have to. And like it might not be something I have to think about, but it's definitely things that I do in preparation. Like if I'm going to say something, it's something that I'm going to say with my full chest because I'm not going to talk very often. And I want them to like actually hear what I have to say. And I feel like as a male, you have that stage kind of always, and people just listen to you because it's other males. And then other things that I don't think my male counterparts had to think about, like how I interacted with the players, what I was wearing when I showed up to the stadium, those types of things that just aren't thought about from a male perspective. But I'm very grateful for that too, because I think that because I have to prepare for all those things and think about those things and go through those situations in my head, I'm better suited. My skill set is better. I've had to go through those things at a far faster pace than my male counterparts have to. And I think that also makes me more emotionally intuitive and aware of my interactions and my social intelligence as well. So I had to work on all of those things all summer long, whereas like the other guys, it's just basketball. So I'm very grateful for that and the things that I learned. And I think that like the organization was great to me. The players were awesome. Like for the most part, I just wanted to be there to support. Like I'd rebound. I also helped with like some of the strength and conditioning and did some of their warm-ups and that kind of stuff too. So I helped out where I could. But it was very much like I was kind of there and just absorbing everything that I could for those 3-4 months.
What did you take from there that you've implemented with your girls at NAIT now?
Oh, lots.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of crossover between the Stingers and NAIT right now as well. So like the men's coach is Jordan Baker. He was their like one of their best players, and now he's their head coach, and he coaches at NAIT. And his assistant coach George Hoyt, like one of the best historical coaches in the province, like has had unbelievable programs, and he's the assistant coach at NAIT and with the Stingers as well. And so like just getting to sit back and listen to him talk about the game, it's changed the way that I look at the game. Everything he says is so simple, but just makes perfect sense. And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
of course.
I hate when that happens.
Right?
It's
Like
awful.
it's the simplest stuff
Yeah.
always. And I'm just like, God, you're smart. So like, I mean, I'd sit in on their practices and just take notes and
Yeah.
watch drills and listen to the way that they coach and their structures and steal drills and all of that. So it's like very much had an impact on the way that I coach for sure. And like, I go to him and ask questions all the time, right? Him, with Baker and Hoyt. And so it's really nice to have that in my back pocket to learn. And I'm going to take advantage of it as best I can until they're no longer there.
Nice.
What's your take, Kiera, on the growth of basketball in our country and specifically on the women's side? Because we had Paul Sir and Steve Sandor talking about it a bit yesterday, but what are you seeing happening here in Canada?
I mean, it's amazing. Like, I think the timing of the Raptors and, you know, our NBA players playing for our national team and our women's team doing so well, like the timing was fantastic with all of those things kind of coming together. It's we have a little bit of growing pains right now, I think, but those are good signs in my opinion. Like, we have so many more universities that have that are like playing in U Sport than we used to, right? But because we have a lot more of those players that would normally stay in the ACAC where I coach are now going U Sport, and so they're not making the ACAC better, and they're most likely sitting on the bench and not being an impact player in U Sport. But I think that will change as like there's more opportunity, which will garner more interest from younger generations, and we'll have more players because of it. But right now, it's a little bit tough on both sides, I think, because there's just those bottom U Sport schools aren't able to get the top recruits to actually compete, but then they're taking the ones away from the ACAC that would be making the ACAC more competitive too. But I think with time, this is just a part of the process. So it's exciting. Like, it's a little bit frustrating, but it's an exciting thing, I think, too.
I can't wait for next summer. Like, just to have, like, at the Summer Olympics, we're going to have the women's soccer team going to try to defend its gold again.
Which is unbelievable.
It's
That still blows my mind.
It's great that we get to say we're defending champs,
Right?
defending gold medalists. We're
Crazy.
trying to
I'll
defend
even
our
use
title.
we on that one.
Well, you better. You're Canadian.
Yeah.
You then got the women's basketball team that they've qualified, or is that still going on? I'm just assuming they're there. Like, I haven't even paid
they
full
must have.
attention.
Like, the men's
it's-
team qualified
and then the
not
men's
that
team
long
is now
ago,
qualified. I
so-
would think that it would be around the same time. I should
Well,
double check that, but like,
I
well, the
assume
women's
they're
team's
good.
better, right? So,
Yes.
like, I would expect them there. And it's like, I love the Summer Olympics. I love all the other events, but for the team wise, like, there's some real Canadian teams there that are gonna have some chances to go medal, and it's just gonna be so much fun to spend the nights or mornings or whatever it's gonna work out to watch the women's and men's basketball team especially. And the men's team first time in 20 years. And what
Who's
can they
better
do?
at their sport? Is it Kiera Nurse, right? Kiera or Darnell?
Kia.
They all say, don't they all say Sarah Nurse is the best?
Sarah
She's a
Nurse
cousin,
is
though.
quicker. Yeah, that's right.
She's a
the family?
cousin.
yeah.
Yeah,
she's
okay.
good.
Kia Nurse has been, so she's coming off of an ACL injury. I
Oh,
think. Like,
no.
She last season, I don't know exactly her timeline, but she tore her ACL and hasn't quite been the same since. But like when she was whew, like
really
really,
good.
really good. She's so unbelievably athletic and
When
fast.
you go to UConn in college,
and are
like,
a massive piece of UConn.
Yeah.
that
That's a
Yes.
big deal.
I know there's a lot of the other schools have caught up to UConn now, but like when
Yeah.
she went and stuff, it's UConn.
Yeah. When the national team was training at Edmonton, because they come and train out of Saville all the time, she was just coming off her injury, and we had they do like scout teams, so they want like university players to come and play defense. So they can work through things.
Yeah.
So I got to go do that, and then afterwards, Kia was wanting to play a little bit more because she was trying to get reps, but not wear out her teammates. So we stayed and played like 3-on-3 with her. It was really fun, and even injured. So good. Like big and strong, and like she wasn't even fast at that time because like she's still coming off her injury, but like you watch her play from before, and like her first step is just so fast and she's so long. It's just she was really good. It's tough. I haven't watched Sarah Nurse play a ton, so it's tough to know.
Also very good.
Also good.
Yeah. It's in the blood.
It is.
Kia is fantastic on the panel.
I was
too.
going to say she's a great broadcaster.
When she's on TSN, she's amazing. Her insight is just perfect.
I had to go fill in for Rashog and do a women's national team bunch of interviews. I didn't have to do a story or anything like that. This was a couple summers ago. And they sent me to talk to Kia. I was like, hey, Kia, I'm Tom, TSM, whatever. Your brother has to deal with me every day. And she's like, I'm sorry you have to deal with him every day. And I was like, thank you. Finally, someone understands. She is a fantastic personality as well. She's going to be great on the court, off the court, in the broadcast booth. She's great.
So Canada, the women's, they're in the pre-qualifying tournament, which will take place November 9th through the 12th.
Where are
Two
Olympics?
nations come. The Olympics, they're in Paris.
Paris, yeah.
Canada, Puerto Rico, Colombia, and Venezuela. It looks like 2 of those 4 will move on to the Olympics.
Oh, right.
I like our chances.
The bed bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
The bed bugs.
Kevin.
Infestation in Paris.
Is there?
They're worried about the Olympics.
The Las Vegas Strip had that like a month ago, too.
Oh, really?
And now you don't
How
hear
does
about
Las
it.
Vegas not have that all the time?
It always
like,
does.
There's no
yeah.
way.
It's like it popped up, and I'm like, really? A place with like 20,000 hotel rooms on one street.
Gross.
It's not far from F1 in
Oh,
Vegas.
yeah.
which
Are you going to
is
F1
not
in
going to
Vegas?
go well, I think. I don't think it's going to be rave reviews.
I don't
No.
think it's going to make it 10 years.
I don't know how long the contract is.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's going to be a lot of praise of this F1 in Vegas afterwards. There's going to be a lot of issues.
They cut down the palm. This is how crazy it's getting now. They cut down the palm trees in front of the Bellagio fountains. People were flipping out because those palm trees used to be on the Dunes golf course back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's like this history there, and I'm like, how did I end up watching this story? It was on YouTube rabbit hole.
You come out quite a bit saying you got in YouTube rabbit hole.
I love YouTube.
Yeah.
Smash that thumbs up button if you're watching right now.
Nice play there.
Thank
nice
you.
play there. Yeah, I didn't hear about this story. But yeah, no, F1. I don't think it's. It seems like it's all issues. The roads, citizens are happy with the roads. Like it's just a mess.
I've been told even don't go to this one because they'll have ironed out everything by year 2. But yeah, it sounds like it's just a mess.
How have you not been to an F1 race yet?
Well, I've only been in love with it for what, 3 years?
That's a lot of time to get to Montreal.
Yeah.
Or
I
Austin.
have a daughter in dance, so no, she's my F1 ticket. That's being spent.
Have you gotten into F1 at all?
It took me a minute to figure out what F1 was.
Oh, okay.
So, no.
Yeah.
I got
clearly.
it now, though. I figured it out. But
Gager does a podcast with Dusty, which you can catch here on EST called Pit Stop Pals, and they dress up like the racers. It's it's adorable.
super cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have gloves?
I do, but I don't wear them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I want to do it with a helmet, but we'll see. I'll talk to Lewis Hamilton. I want his one from Singapore, or was it Japan? It looked all metallic. He looked like, it was just awesome. But yeah, no, I don't. It's so silly. I got involved and started watching. If you watch Drive to Survive, it's a great show on Netflix.
Okay.
It got us all in.
Yeah,
and then and now I got the F1 TV. It's only $70 for the year, and it gives you access to everything F1 what you want. And
Do you have a simulator, or is that just Dusty?
no, that's just Dusty.
And
I'd never get out of it. I don't think I'd have to master. I have I have an addictive personality. So video games, I don't even play them anymore because I like them so much, and I can't imagine being able to jump in and actually race. I would be racing all the time. I'd never be here.
Joaquin Bucks.
We'll open up a simulator here, and you'll never.
Oh my
leave here.
gosh.
Yeah, forget the arcade.
I'm
We're just
here
gonna
enough
build a
as it is. This is too much Gage. I'm
is
better
your
in small
office.
doses.
No way. Kira, we did get a text. I just want to throw it to the text line, and I think you could answer it. It's from Kevin. Do any of the CEBL players get drafted yearly to the NBA? I went to 5 Stingers games this season. Totally loved the game / atmosphere.
Not drafted for the most part. I mean, there are guys that I think have been drafted and then come and play there. But it's guys are a bit older too. Like, and the way that the league is set up, like, so it's a summertime league, and so it's meant to be like a stepping stone. So there are guys that have signed in the NBA. So like Xavier Moon, who played for the Stingers for the first 3 years, was 3 years.
He played a
Yeah.
few, right?
I
Both,
think
both
he won the
championships.
MVP L3.
Yes, and so they like the trophy has like a big X on it now because he was unbelievable. Watching him every day was worth all the work. Like, oh, he's so good. He's so fast and just like the nicest person as well. So seeing him have all the success that he's had is just like, I love it because he deserves it. But there are like quite a few guys that have signed with teams. You'd have to look up names. I don't remember, but like a couple guys with the Bucks, I think. Xavier signed with the Clippers. He's playing on their G League team, but he,
Paul
played.
said yesterday that he might get a full contract this year.
Yeah, he's got a two-way, and then the year after he was with the Stingers, when there was still like all the COVID things, there were a lot of G League guys up in the league because when guys would go out with COVID, they just pull them up. So he was on like a 10-day contract that would just like continue. Like he just signed another 10 day, signed another 10 day, and he was up there for like a couple months. So, and he just like continues to get better. So I would assume that he'll get there.
Nice.
But yeah, so they're not necessarily like getting drafted, or maybe they did, but they're not in the NBA and they're using it to kind of build their resume. So
Who's your NBA team?
Raptors. Yeah. But I'm also just like, I'm just a fan of basketball too. Like I have teams that I don't enjoy, but there's players that I love watching, and I like playoffs especially. Like
It's so great.
Oh, it's the best.
And the stars come through and they shine.
Jimmy
and they're
Butler
in
in the
biggest,
playoffs?
Oh.
Are you kidding? Yes, it's the best.
Was that him with the emo look? For unbelievable. Like, what are you doing? But I know he's trolling everybody.
Yes.
That was
And
well
he had,
done.
like,
Whining about the
piercing.
Dame Lillard trade.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this season because, like, for those few years, we had the Cavs and the Warriors. They built these teams, and
got
no one else
old.
could really compare. Right. But now it seems like there's, like, pairs in a lot of places, and there's a lot of really good teams. And seeing what Giannis and Dame are going to do together in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
like, that's scary. I'm a Laker guy. What LeBron and AD could do healthy, seeing what KD and Booker could do with a full season together if they could stay healthy. They're just, still got the Warriors. You got the Heat. Like, it's so much fun. There's drama on and off the court, which makes it better too.
I have like, so Kawhi Leonard's been my favorite player for a long time, like when he was with the Spurs, and so him come to the Raptors and was just like amazing. Actually, my mom and I flew out to Game 3 against Milwaukee. That went into double overtime. So we were at that game.
Damn.
Unbelievable. It was so much fun. Got to watch him dunk on Giannis, which was super awesome. I love Giannis too, though. But
How could you not?
yeah, right?
He just has that personality.
It seems like a good person. But when Kawhi went to the Clippers and they had Paul George and they had this like whole lineup, I was convinced they were just going to be so good. I'm like, there's no way anyone's going to compete. Like their defense is like they had Pat Beverly. It's like their defense is going to be so good. They're just going to smother teams. And I'm just like, I can't get excited about teams anymore because that was just such a flop that I was like,
I was so happy when that one flopped. As a Laker fan, I don't want the Clippers to ever do well. And he should have joined the Lakers.
he should have stayed in Toronto.
Him, LeBron, and AD would have been wonderful. Although we still won the title.
There it is.
We still went on and won that NBA
You certainly
title,
did. You
Tommy.
played great, Matthew.
It was a wonderful year. It was a wonderful playoffs.
Yeah, you earned it.
Wonderful championship series against the Heat, and we did it.
We did.
We did it.
The poor Heat.
You want to know something? This past year, I really wanted them to win for Eric Spoelstra because I don't think he's ever going to get credit for how good of a coach he actually is.
Why?
Without that ring.
Yeah.
I think
Nobody does.
I think it's very easy to be like, well, he was the coach of the big three when they were there. And it's easy to like, I feel like he's a little underrated.
Yeah, he might be. I mean, they've been so good for how long? They just
Right?
haven't been able to like.
He hasn't got
Finish
that
it off.
next one.
Yeah.
You know, and I want that next ring for him because when you actually think about how long he's been there, even just going to when he was a video coach or whatever,
Right.
it's been like since '99 or something like that. He's been in the organization, and he's just so darn good. And yeah,
What a career.
I know, and what a place to do it.
Yeah, the best.
You know, just in Miami, just hanging out.
I'm not a big
Florida guy,
Miami
though. You're not a
guy.
Florida
I
guy.
find it so annoying. Like everything is 45 minutes away. It's beautiful. Fort Lauderdale is amazing. Miami
Well, I don't
Beach,
think for
but
Eric
like
Spoelstra, everything's 45 minutes away.
no, probably not. Outside of that, it's just like, well, Gager, you played. The rink is like over in Sunrise, and it's 45 minutes away from Fort Lauderdale, which is 45 minutes away from Miami. You want to do anything, you're driving. Traffic is terrible. The humidity. Outside of that, it's amazing.
Yeah, the bars are great.
Oh, they are.
They're real nice. I remember going into one and there was no roof. I was like, oh my gosh. And I left, but I guess Prince came later.
No.
Yeah.
Purple
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah. And he was wearing the like full
That's gonna
revolution stuff with his entourage, I guess. I think it was David Oliver was there. He said, yeah, Prince showed up. So I was like, oh, that sucks. Oh well.
That one hurts.
That one hurt.
Like, Like just him passing was like, well, that was one
Yeah,
that hurts
yeah,
too, right?
yeah.
In the end, like
Yeah.
he was just brilliant at what he did. You're not wearing your hat that you came in with earlier.
Oh, I
just
took it
wanna
off.
point that out
Well,
there.
the lights can't see my the baby brown face.
Face.
Birthday
The
boy.
hats are official products from the Hive Product Marketing. Our store going up, I think Monday.
Monday.
I think I feel good as saying Monday. We will have the store up where you can buy some EST merch. Again, thanks to our official merch partner, the Hive Product Marketing, products that bring the buzz, thehiveproductmarketing.com. Ask for Chelsea. We have quite a bit that's going to show up in that store. So yes, if you're not part of the Nasty Club, which will get the early access to some of the merchandise, you could pick up the pre-order sales starting Monday. Just head to edmontonsportstock.com for that.
The toque's going to be awesome.
Two colors, too. Have you seen
colors.
both colors?
No, you only showed me the one, the prototype, and I really
black
liked
one?
it. I like to wear a good toque in the winter
Do you?
when I'm not doing the hair, yeah.
The stocking cap.
So when do you wear it? Because you're
Not
always doing
often.
your hair.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you
But
got to
when
go
I
to Oiler
do-
games, and then you're gonna come here. So when are you gonna wear the toque?
I have my cash moments. Not often.
It's cold in that
I've
rink
got
too.
them.
You can wear it.
That's
You-
cold.
No,
that rink
not
is
at the
freezing.
because I'm working.
But that rink is freezing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Bundle up. Layers. It's all good.
Hey, what?
Layers.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to wear layers in a press box.
True.
When the
And
Ched boys have to bring space heaters in
I know.
because
Yeah.
it's 13 degrees in their booth.
Yes.
There's something wrong.
Layer up.
That is weird.
Yeah, the visiting team's getting treated better than you guys.
Yeah, I know. And
Shocker.
it's such a shame. Although, what's the food this year? I didn't even ask.
There wasn't any first game.
What do you mean there was no food?
There was cake.
What?
There was cake.
Was there anything even on the cake?
No pizza.
No pizza, no chicken fingers and fries?
Nope.
Was there
Gone.
popcorn?
There was popcorn.
Was there chips?
Nope.
Was there candy?
Nope.
What's going on at the Oilers?
That's what I'm wondering, but I'm not complaining because
I'll
I
complain.
appreciate
Why
and
aren't they taking
privileged to
care
cover
of
the
us
team.
in the media? This should be the biggest story.
Well, this
I
is a
think.
team that I'm on. I wouldn't mind the pizza coming back. Jamie Cartmel and Sean May, who are in Philadelphia right now, but you know what? I'm not pushing it.
Can you believe this?
Well, I remember
was with me.
I went up to the press box at the beginning, and I couldn't believe the spread you guys had. It was like full candy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
and
go up at the start of the
pizza.
game, and there's popcorn,
So
and
they set the bar high.
and there was candy, and there was bags of Lay's chips. And
Gone.
the
Yeah.
First intermission was chicken fingers and fries,
amazing.
and then second intermission was pizza
There's veggies there too. I'd have
and veggies.
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you guys ever eat in the cafeteria downstairs too?
Not anymore.
No, I'm too cheap.
I used to.
How much is that?
Like
20
$16.
bucks.
Is it
No,
20?
they raised it. Yeah, it's 20.
Yeah,
There's a good
and
spread in there. Though.
The first year was amazing, and then they started like portion control.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like this is not a good.
What do you mean they did
discussion.
portion? Hold on, what do you mean portion control?
So you go
Like you get a
they'll
plate.
have
It's buffet style.
No,
You go
not
fill it up.
anymore. No, they have one of the nice people that works there. Here you go, and you can ask for more, but
Can you go for seconds?
yeah, sure.
Okay.
But before you want pasta, you're getting all that pasta. You want say it's Chinese food, you want ginger beef, and that's it. You're getting the ginger beef. You can load it up, and they'll just bring more. Now it's here's your scoop and a half. Oh, can I
What's
have a
the
little bit
pregame
more?
spread at NAIT games?
For me, it's funny. I send a message out to my girls every day about like what they should have in their meals, like at breakfast, at lunch, snack, all those things. And I didn't really realize how much they loved that, like my game day messages.
That's
like, Every
awesome.
morning I'll just send it. Because before our first preseason game, I was like, yeah, make sure you guys have a good meal. And one of my returners was like, are you not going to be sending our game day message tomorrow? Like,
no, no.
like I need that.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
yeah, no spread, but I try and tell them to, eat something that's gonna not sit in your stomach for too long and give you some energy. But
As a proud alum, may I suggest something? And this could hand in hand work really well. Ernest caters for the women's basketball team. Pre and post game meal.
I mean, I'm totally on board
Right?
for that, but
I've never had Ernest.
Oh, it's amazing.
When I went, it was hard to
It's-
get the reservation going. We were
I
going to
know.
do it once,
It's
and we just
very
didn't get in.
It's very good.
my parents will go there before because they come to all our games. And they'll
Yeah.
go to Ernest and have a meal before. It's
And
kinda
that's a
really-
great call. And if, they could get the girls ready to go for their game,
Yeah.
hey,
You know what
thinker right here.
What I really want is like one of the things that I want to try and do with my program is like get the parents to know each other really well. Because I have a lot of girls from out of town. So when their parents come, I want them to actually like know each other because that was a big part for my parents when in Saskatoon. they really looked forward to seeing all the other parents because they
cool.
became really good friends. So like I should have a, an earnest dinner for my parents or something, but we don't have a ton of money to be able to cover that.
And that's an issue, right?
Yeah, it's tough. Like our budgets are small, and we have to work really hard to fundraise and be able to provide, my girls with the amount of money to create the student athlete experience that I think that they deserve. And their parents are a part of that too. And so I want to be able to include them, but that's something I have to try and build over the next couple of years and be able to support my program that way.
How much is it you yourself going out to businesses, potential sponsors and partners? How much is it NAIT helping you with that? And I'm assuming that's part of the difficulty of getting that funding.
Yeah, like the fundraising, we have a budget from NAIT and they're very helpful that way. And there is somebody that works in our admin staff that helps with fundraising and getting us out there. But for the most part, if I want money from my program to be raised, it's on me. So I need to either create events or go out to businesses and create partnerships with people. And yeah, like that's something that I have to do. So we do summer camps in the summer that helps raise. I do an ID camp in December. We did like a raffle for a laptop. And then we have like Boost the Ooks, which is ways that you can just like provide money to the program, like through NAIT. But yeah, it's a lot, and it's not something that I'm very skilled at yet. Like, basketball is my strength, and the business side of things, I wasn't a business student or done anything like that. So it's definitely a part of learning for me. But yeah, it's I need to be able to go out and talk to car dealerships and, other businesses that are interested in helping promote female sports and collegiate athletes. And I think like if people actually knew what that money went towards and the importance of creating the experience for them, people would be way more willing to give. It's just there's not a lot of exposure. We don't get a ton of fans. We don't get a lot of advertisements. People don't know about us. We're also not the best women's program or the highest level women's program in the city. So like, why would you do that when you have the Pandas or McEwen that are playing at a higher level? So it's tough, but you need to get people that are genuinely invested in the girls in the program so that they're willing to kind of support us. You
guys are open for business though. If there are potential partners that are watching or listening.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's such a weird thing for me to ask people to help, to ask people for money because that's it's just not a core value. It feels weird for me.
Yeah, of course.
And so, I try and reframe it. It's like, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for like my girls. And I had such an amazing experience at U of S. They treat you so well, and all of the sacrifices and all the hard work, they take care of you in ways that make it worth it off the basketball floor, right? Like our athletic therapy was unbelievable. We had a masseuse that would come and take care of you after games. Our gear was amazing. It was comfortable. It fit well. It looked nice. You want to wear it. You have money for your schooling. You have money on the road to pay for food, all of these things. And so to get up in the morning and work out 3 times a week and then have practice later at night and then play 2 games on the weekend, like when you're doing all of that, but you feel supported and taken care of by your program, it makes it that much easier to buy in and actually give everything because you're like, they care about me. And you show that in little things, but those little things add up to a lot of money at the same time. So yeah.
Where would you put the money if you got a partner that would come on board? Because you said not a lot of people know where that money goes or how it's distributed.
First would be scholarships.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the challenges with NAIT, like I said earlier, is the 2-year programs, right? So a lot of those and I push my girls to take business because it's a 4-year. So it keeps them around.
Smart.
And then they help you with the business side too.
And they do.
There
They
you
actually
go.
do. They had kind of like Sadie, one of my players, came to me with a social media marketing idea. And I'm like, this is great because I'm not good at that. So it's wonderful.
Win-win.
But yeah, scholarships. The 2-year programs, it's, they come, they graduate, and then if I could continue to, like, all education, in my opinion, is good education. Especially NAIT, like, that's such applicable life skills and hands-on skills that you can use for the rest of your life. And you only get 5 years to play. And I try and tell my girls, like, it feels like a long 5 years when you're in it, but as soon as you're done, it was like a blink of an eye. Like, it happens so fast. Yeah. And it's really the only chance in your life that you're going to get to do that. Like, you really get to be playing the sport that you love with girls that you love and learning all of these lessons together and doing hard things with your friends. And, you're not going to learn those lessons in a group that's as supportive in the real world. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And so to learn those things in a team room playing basketball, I think is super important just to set them up for the rest of their life. But you need to use all 5 years to learn those things and learn that if you buy in and you work hard, like, those things pay off. But a part of that challenge is they graduate and it's like, well, money is a thing, obviously, right? And right now, especially, like, it's not like everybody's thriving and able to continue to pay for schooling when their family needs them to work. And I know the men's side, it's even a harder struggle that way. It's they have to work and support their families and help out with bills, and basketball is just not, at the top of the priority list. So if I'm able to pay for their schooling, across the board, I'm way more likely to keep them, because it's like, well, yeah, of course, like, let's get educated in something else. Let's turn this diploma into a degree. Let's, like, all of those different things. But if I don't have the money to keep them around, it's way less likely that they'll stick around. So if I had it, it would go into scholarships immediately. And then it would go, after that, it would go into, like, travel, like preseason travel, like going to exhibition games and going on a trip and, rewarding them with something like that in the preseason or at Christmas. But our scholarships would be the main thing for sure.
Nice.
Nate saved my father-in-law's life. I didn't know if I was going to be a firefighter or not, so I went and took my ITLS and my MFR course.
Oh, yeah.
And we were at Pampas, and he started choking, and I jumped across the table, gave him the Heimlich, saved him.
Amazing.
Oh, you know the Heimlich.
I do. Now
That's
I
good
do.
to know.
Yeah.
That's really good to know.
Yeah. So
It's Tom, do you ever feel weird going to Nate?
Yes.
For the program we were in.
Yes, I do.
Like, it's these trades, it's all these other, the healthcare workers, and then there's us, radio and TV.
Yeah. We were just, like, in that one building in the V building? Building V?
Yes.
Yeah. I
think it's V. And we're, like, with other trades and stuff, and, like, they had that hard soap.
Yeah.
Really clean your hand.
Yeah.
So we'd go in and we get this hard soap, and you're just like, we don't need this, but okay.
I appreciate the Gojo soap, because I worked in the tire shop at Costco for 4 years prior to that, so I was
Okay.
used to it. Gets the grit out.
Yeah. There's not a lot of
These
grit
hands
for
aren't very calloused anymore since
Yeah.
those days, but
picking up that camera. There's not a lot of grit.
yeah, it was. You kind
They're
of
heavy,
talk, yeah.
They put them on the shoulder, maybe.
You want to talk
carrying
about
those around, it got annoying.
True.
I hated it.
Yeah,
That was like
same here,
packing
like,
it up
ug.
and having to walk it around is like, oh my God, I don't want to do this
I'd be
anymore.
like, who wants to be a camera person? Take this.
Yeah.
How did you get into it? Did you take schooling to get into the broadcast for a little bit? Like with CTV?
I took the NAIT program.
You were at the NAIT too? Okay,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Kiera also did broadcast. Yeah, she
Quite a
worked.
bit.
Yeah, CTV.
Yeah, I said CTV there.
Oh yeah, sorry, my
I
bad.
literally just.
You know what? Nielsen was FaceTime calling me just now. I don't know what he
he's
wants.
probably in his
What?
truck going, "Look at me."
Maybe it's a butt dial. I don't know.
Maybe he wants us to show that you got this new vehicle he's
No, we're
trying
not
out
showing
and
your
all
new
of that.
vehicle,
So when he wants to FaceTime us and all that.
That's weird. I think it was a mistake. Anyway, yeah. I speaking of, like, imposter syndrome, like, you go to NAIT and there's people in actual trades learning practical skills, and we're the radio and TV gang. What are you gonna do today? Today I'm gonna learn how to do weather on TV. Wow.
I
Okay.
legit excelled at Mario Kart 64. That was one of the
Yeah.
biggest takeaways was that in the Jock Lounge for radio, we had an N64, and we played a ton of that.
Yes.
And it would be
Jeez.
like you'd have the 4 controllers, top 2 of each race, got to keep the controllers. The other 2 had to lose it. So you got to be really good at keeping your controller, and we learned all the cheats. And that is probably one of my number one takeaways I took from RTA was legit Mario Kart 64, which is really sad.
In the Jock Lounge, a Gager goes and learns a practical trait that helps save a
Yes.
life, while I'm sitting
know
there
the
writing a
jump of Rainbow
commercial
Road.
for soap. You know, like you're just like, wow, this is
yeah,
is
but
what I
TV
signed
works
up.
harder than radio too.
Yes, we do.
You guys
Or
work
we did.
way harder than
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
You guys would have, because on third semester, you guys would have to do the TV shows and all of that. Whatever it was called. Do the news
Oh,
program.
ouch.
That.
Hello,
And
Nate Newswatch.
I forgot.
Actually, I was before Nate Newswatch. That's how old
Were
I
you
am.
on the one on TV?
NTV, and
Yeah,
then NTV in Newfoundland, I believe.
Cease and desist.
Ceased and desisted. Yep.
But you guys would like have like overnights to try to get your show ready, and you
Yeah.
guys would be there long. And we'd leave at like 6 o'clock, having just played Mario Kart 64, and hey, see you guys, have a good one, and we were off to go drink or whatever.
Now, well, jealous first of all,
Yeah,
and
it's
I would
great.
partake sometimes too with the radio guys and just kind of slink out for an hour or two. But do you not remember, and Kiera, you could probably, like, when you get into TV and you realize how bad we were when we were at NAIT, it's like things that would take a day or two as NAIT students learning television, you get into at like CTV, where I also went to, you're like, oh my God, I have to have this done in an hour. And this used to take me like a day.
I think that's everything though.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
when you're first learning things, it seems overwhelming and so much. But yeah, that was like the timeline stuff at CTV was stressful.
Yeah.
Like the morning show, like putting things together, and you'd have to have this show all put together in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I was up till 3 a.m. at school doing this. But
This took me a week in school.
Yeah.
I remember being sent out for a story in Sask when I was at ITL CKSA. Lloyd, you were there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, you can just write the story and record the audio for your voiceovers in the van on your way back to the studio. I was like, what? Pardon me? And they're like, yeah, didn't you do that before? I'm like,
standard practice.
no, I had 3 days to do a story and it was only like a minute and a half long. And they're like, well, you have 1 hour
Wow.
in the van. And I was like, I am screwed. We got it done. It wasn't good, but we got it done.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that in radio.
Yeah, clearly.
A lot of the stuff we
you were
learned
great
in
at
radio-
Mario Kart.
No, a lot of stuff we learned in radio didn't really carry over to the sports radio world.
Nah.
So I had to learn it all just from scratch anyway. So
anyway.
it was,
Getting my NAIT fix today. This is great.
Yeah.
I missed Nate.
You can always go back.
Oh, I know. I can. Well, actually,
Come watch a game.
I'll have to
Yeah.
come watch it. Well, that's one thing I want to do a little more this year. I always go watch the Golden Bears hockey team. I always head to Claire Drake. And I'm like, it's great, but there's a lot of other things going on. And last year I went to finally, it took me a while, but I got to that volleyball game for the Bears. And I was like, this is great. Like, this is so much fun. And I have to go to basketball games. And like, I live downtown. McEwen's right there. Nate's right there. The LRT can take me right there as well. There's so much great sports in this city.
Home opener this weekend.
I was going to ask, when did you guys start playing and all that? So.
Yeah, it starts this weekend. So we've got Concordia Friday at Concordia, and then we have our home opener.
Where's Concordia play?
At Concordia.
Like it's at, I guess it's at their gym. I'm thinking like their hockey team and stuff. Where do they play? Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Their hockey team's all over the map.
At Concordia. So yeah, we have
at
them
their
on
gym.
Friday, and then home opener Saturday. So just let me know. I'll leave you some tickets. I know a guy.
Nice.
Pre-post. Damn it.
You're the boss. You can make an
Yeah,
exception.
we have more. We have more. Don't worry about it.
Oh, there'll be more games.
Okay.
We'll have
Yeah,
to
there you
because I'm just like, because
And we'll be
we
much
gotta get
better
YouTube
later in the
shop.
season anyway. So come check us out later.
It's all just fun times.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's just in sports. It's just
Is the
go
nest
watch
still
anything.
open? It is? Oh, hello.
There you
That's
go.
a great spot to go enjoy.
I only went there a few times. I had a good time.
That's because it was Blind Duck.
Yeah, that's right.
For the radio and TV kids, it was always going to Blind Duck.
And there's that bowling alley underneath. Did you go there? Yeah.
The bowling alley is amazing.
It is fun.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
The blind duck is gross, but it
Yes.
was fun.
And it's,
Really?
it's the new name now or whatever. Isn't it just the Duck or something?
I don't know. I haven't been there in decades.
I've only been there once.
I
haven't
hate-
been back.
Well, only once?
Yeah.
Did you guys have Meet the First and all that?
That was the one time.
Okay. You didn't go the second year?
I might have. I don't remember. Might have
I was
blocked it out.
denied going in for my Meet the First for the first one because I was 17. And they ID'd me at Blind Duck.
That's a rarity.
Yes. Like
You
of
must
all
have
the
really
places.
looked young.
I walk in and they're right there and like, can I have ID? And I was like, okay. And they wouldn't let me into the Blind Duck. You don't know anything.
No, I
we're
don't
talking
know.
about. You're just
I'm assuming you're talking about a drinking establishment.
Correct.
Yeah, I've
dive bar drinking establishment.
the
Like,
what's the one of the U of A, the Rat.
rat?
Rat, yeah.
At the top,
Yeah.
at the top of the tower.
I go there all the time when my daughter's dancing. That's a good spot to go because she's dancing at the. Is it the Meyer Horowitz?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
so-
great venue, too.
it's a great
they
venue
just-
to watch a lot of
Yeah,
things.
they just redid it too. So
Did they?
yeah,
The Duck Tap House and Grill. That is what it's
Duck.
called now. So just look that one up. Yeah. Right next to Plaza Bowling.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's great. I've been there
That-
quite a few times.
That is a good time.
Now, I don't like saying this on air too much because we don't want to spoil it. But do you ever go to the NAIT retail meat store?
I was there yesterday.
Okay.
But don't tell anybody.
I know that's the problem. Like, you want to talk about it with people, but you also don't want too many people to know because what was on special? Is there anything?
Well, everything's on special. In
Oh,
there,
I know,
got-
but like, was there like? Because they always sometimes have like.
they'll have like that fridge on the outside full of stuff, and there's
Yeah,
like a bunch
or
of soup. But like 2 weeks ago, they had all these pre-made meals. It was like $75 for
Yeah.
Hey, we don't talk about Fight Club. That's rule number one.
Well, I heard we talk about it often on 1260.
I know.
And at times you're like, yeah, great, they're giving some love to the retail meat store, but then you're also like, shut up, Eric.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell too many people this one because it is like just the most underrated spot to go
Yeah, it's great.
grab
It
a
is
fight. I'm so
fantastic.
glad that you do go there too. That's the way to do it. You don't know what we're talking about. You go to
He's got his spots.
I got
yeah.
some spots.
You got anything on the smoker right now? Or
Well,
how
I
did
did
that turn out?
Well, it was good. I got home. I put it really low because I have the old smoker, but it worked quite well. I had to pump up the volume.
What'd you have?
Just a big pork shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And so what are you gonna do with it?
I
Is
ripped
for
it
a
up.
certain event or just
No, just for kids. Just my son is a beast now, and he eats so much, and he's really into working out and stuff, and so having that, and he can just make a sandwich and stuff. It's good. And then it's nice. I'm at the level. I'm so old now. My one son's out. He's graduated, but my daughter's still in high school, and I got to make lunches every morning. So it's nice just having to make one lunch. It's great. It's really easy. 2 suck. Just so you know.
Did you make the same lunch?
Um,
Because wouldn't that make you eat? Like that seems relatively easy. Like if you're making the same sandwich, you just
but
do it twice, and it's
sometimes they don't like the same things. So
you force it. Say make your own lunch.
Oh yeah,
then.
that works. But I hated when they'd come home and they would still have all the veggies and stuff. Right?
Oh.
You're like, what are you doing? Of course, I did the exact same thing as a kid, but
What did we learn this week about veggies?
that Dusty should not go buy veggie trays.
Yeah,
had a
at the
client
client.
mixer
Yeah,
this
you gotta explain
And
this.
Dusty brought a veggie tray because we had pizza coming and there was chips, and just figured bring a little bit of a healthy option. And I don't know how we described
It
the
was
smell.
awful.
It was. I've never had a veggie tray smell that bad. That was just. And I knew right away. Like Dusty,
I didn't know what it was.
Something in the walls.
It
here?
was bad.
It was really bad. As soon as it cracked,
That
right?
broccoli. Yes.
Gross.
I actually
Yeah.
finally had to get rid of it. I had to.
Thank you for doing that.
The lesson we've learned from all of this is never bring a veggie tray to a work function.
Yeah.
Just the
See,
safe
but
thing.
I hadn't been eating veggies very much, so I bought myself a tray to force myself to eat some vegetables. It was fantastic. So you can't hate on all veggie trays just because
This
bad
one was-
experience.
This was
This one
okay.
was
You didn't
awful.
experience this bad
Yeah.
experience though. 'cause
PTSD.
Yeah.
It was one where
it's fresh.
Like, you opened it up later with Eric, and it was just a quick open.
And I was like,
it
oh
just
my God,
engulfed
that's
the
what that
room.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it
this
was.
whole play. Like we're not big, but we're also not small.
No.
And it got all
Oh,
over
that
the
room was
place.
terrible. It took like a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, it
even after
lingered.
I went to go throw it in the fridge, and then you said no, Gage.
Yeah, no, we're not putting that in, like because then it's just gonna sit there.
Well,
Yeah.
who's gonna eat it when it smells like that?
Yeah, no.
And then of
Not
course,
anybody you want to be hanging out
No.
with. So
No.
Oh, and then there's gonna be somebody here that's gonna like take a look and maybe open it, and during the day, and then we're gonna be doing shows, and all of a sudden it's gonna rake.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have
that's-
to deal with that.
That's no good.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I got a text from Brandon. Speaking of the blind duck. As a Sasky, I always respected the blind duck. Served Pilsner. LOL. Plaza Bowl. From Brandon.
Actually, you'll need to talk to Eric after, since you spent time in Saskatoon. He's from Saskatoon, and I'm sure he'd love to know the places that you
Yeah.
guys hung out and all that. Because where was them? Crackers was one that they loved. I think that was the karaoke bar.
there's the something cactus, the crazy cactus.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a place that we went to a decent amount. It was like felt very tropical in there.
Oh,
Very corny, but
tropical in Saskatoon.
Oh.
That's
yeah,
Oh,
that's perfect.
That was Snack
Burns
10.
Pizza.
yeah, yeah.
That's for that people say that's Versato's Pizza.
Versatos.
Yeah,
is-
it's like this. It's like Vern's and all of that.
cool. That wasn't Brandon who gave the love for Pill. That was Snack 10. Great handle.
snack.
I just want to clarify. My bad.
Nice.
Oilers winning tonight.
Birthday boy.
Oh, well, that's it. It's going to be a closer game. I think they'll pull this one out, though. I like the matchup of Skinner and Carter Hart.
Carter Hart's won that matchup.
I know
Yeah.
this is redemption.
Did the Oilers not skate or something?
They were supposed to have a full skate according to the
9:30.
PR. Yeah.
Do we have anything?
I haven't seen anything.
Because the problem is we've kind of not done anything.
Right.
Daniel Nugent Bowman, I think he's on the road.
All right.
Does he
Yeah,
have
he is
anything?
on the road with them, yeah.
Same lines and pairings for the Oilers at morning skate in Philly, with the exception of Desharnais in for Broberg with Brett Kulak. Jack Campbell, after stopping 42 of 43 shots Tuesday in Nashville's in the starters.
There you
net.
go.
Huh?
So it looks like Jack Campbell will get the start.
Wow. Surprising.
I like it. I think give him the reward for what happened on Tuesday and how well he played. And then you go to Skinner on Saturday and you say, here's your chance to
Do it.
show that this is also your net and there will be a competition. But you also give that reward to Campbell here of you played well. Like that game, he made that spider save.
Scorpion.
Scorpion save. Sorry. And like when he brought that leg up, that kind of turned things around. Because there was a brief moment. They scored, made it 4-1, I think it was. And then that power play, they had a few chances. And Campbell stood on his head. And if one of those goes in, you're thinking, oh boy, here we go. Like what could happen? So I like the reward for Jack Campbell there.
Coach Kiera said it, right? The hot player.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I kind of agreed. I thought they'd go with Skinner, but yeah, like I agree. Like rewarding, it's always good too.
What do you got coming up? You got 2 guys in the goalie.
2 guys.
And how you celebrating 50?
Yeah.
Like, you got to be doing
What's
something.
Megan? Megan's throwing a party for you? What's going
No.
on? Coop's going to show up?
No. Daughter's got dance. I'll probably watch the game. Just go to maybe Crumble Cookie, grab a cookie, and sit and enjoy the 50th.
Will they give you a free one for your birthday?
I
You
don't
should hit
know.
up the spot so you get like free birthday stuff.
I should.
But I
I
bet
gotta
they-
get a birthday boy shirt. Maybe I'll go get a t-shirt made
Sash.
up and yeah.
You
Yeah.
brought crumble cookie for my birthday. I need to get you something.
No,
I'll
you
get
don't.
Yes, I will.
No, you don't.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, I'm good. It was
I'll get you
a
something.
momentous occasion with Crumble Cookie. Those were good though.
They were like a meal.
Massive.
Yeah, they're undercooked cookies, but they're great. My daughter loves them, which isn't great, but because they're like $8 a cookie.
Yeah, well, the amount of cookie you're getting, they're thick.
They're huge.
They're not like
huge.
thin cookies or anything. They're really thick.
Yeah.
And actually, it's cool because they do come out with new ones every week. And so if you do like follow them on Twitter, they'll put out their or X, sorry, that they're new cookies and stuff. And they're really good. Like I posted, hey, got the new cookies, and they retweet it and stuff all the time.
So home opener, season opener this weekend, the 2 of them.
Yep.
How often? You guys just weekends or when do you guys play?
Yeah, just weekends. Like we have a couple Sundays just for scheduling, but Friday, Saturday for the most part. And yeah, we're in the swing of things right away. I'm very scared.
Are you?
Where's
the confidence for the season?
Yeah,
Especially when he comes and boos you.
Yeah, right? I'm nervous about that.
He's on the offering me tickets after all of this.
Yeah.
Although, if you don't want to do it, if you need me to throw the chair, I'll throw the chair.
yeah.
He'll do
I'll
it.
take
Okay, I'll
one
let
for
you
the
know.
team.
I'll point to you if I need
And
it.
I'll be
Yes.
ready.
Yeah,
I'll be ready to come down and whip that out there.
He'll take that technical for you.
Yeah, don't take it
Oh no,
till
she
we're
needs
there.
the technical.
Well, we'll save hers for like a great moment.
Yeah, get a
Yeah.
team
But
where you
then
need it. You know you'll need it against, and we'll all show up.
if you're running out of,
I already know.
Okay, perfect.
if you're running out of timeouts and you need like a distraction on the court,
Yeah.
like I'll come onto the court and do something.
Streak.
Whatever. Whatever you need for the team, I'm here for the team.
Okay.
Just so you know that. When's the game for you guys? Home game?
6 o'clock
6 o'clock.
on Saturday. Yeah, so we're coming off a not great last preseason game. So we need a really good practice tonight to make me feel a little bit more at ease.
It's
But
exhibition.
Perfect.
No one cares.
super excited.
It's not important.
Right?
Didn't matter. Is it?
Yeah, sure. Nobody cares.
Is it in the standings?
No, but people could see it.
Yeah, but it's not in the standings. No,
No.
one cares about it. It's 0-0-0. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, for sure. And like you approach preseason far different.
And if anybody wants to sponsor your team, who do they get a hold of?
You can, get a hold of me would
Yeah.
be the best. So you can email me at Kiera, KIERAL @NAIT.ca. You can also go to our Ooks Athletic website. There's a Boost the Ooks link where you can donate and you just select women's basketball. And that goes right to us and I can use all of that for scholarships. But yeah, if you're interested, send me an email and I'd love to get connected.
Awesome.
Or you can reach out to us and we'll put you in touch as
pass
well.
it
So just
Yeah.
we'll find a way to make sure we can get you in touch. Thank you for coming on and enjoy the season. And I will get to a game for sure.
Thanks for having me. This was really fun.
Good.
Happy birthday, Gager.
Happy
man.
birthday, Joaquin.
Thanks, boys.
You guys are you're back with Cass and Dusty at noon for 2 guys and a goalie. They'll get you fully set for Oilers and Flyers. But up next, it is the Lock Shop with Dusty Haas and Pat Gregoire. The Edmonton Sports Talk Parlay. It's up and live plus 400. Only at coolbet.com. They'll also get you set for the Thursday Nighter, as it is the Jaguars, maybe with Nathan Rourke, the Canadian. Maybe. taking
like
on the New Orleans Saints. So they'll have you covered up with the lock shop and everything you need to know for tonight. On behalf of Kiera, Gager, Tommy, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the Hangout. Enjoy the Oiler game later tonight, and I will talk with you tomorrow.